Bihari Vijanavar Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamunatira Vanachahari Jamunatira Jamunatira Vanachahari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Radha Madhava Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Jamunatira Vanachahari Jamunatira Jamunatira Vanachahari Vanachahari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, we'll read from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, which is called Karma Yoga, verse number 20. Karmaneva hi samsiddhim ashtita janakadaya loka sangaham evapi sampashyam kartum arhasi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Kings such as Janak attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Purport: kings like Janak were all self-realized souls. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. Nonetheless, they performed all prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. Janak was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Ram. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendently situated, but because he was the king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the other party was determined to fight. So for such a right cause, there is a necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. Experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow, and this is explained in the following verse. Om Jnana Timidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshudun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatadine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna. This is a spontaneous moment in a spontaneous class. So the verse once again, kings such as Janak attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So it's the middle of chapter 3, and Krishna is still trying to convince Arjuna that he has to fight. Krishna spent all of chapter 2 convincing Arjuna that he should fight. But what happens is, so this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best explainer and the best teacher. And he just spent all of chapter 2 telling Arjuna that it's important for him to fight, do his duty. And he gave many reasons why Arjuna should do his duty. He said, first of all, you're a Kshatriya. As a Kshatriya, you're meant to protect others from harm. And the other administration that is in power right now, they're going to cause a lot of harm to society. So you should go ahead and fight. That's the main reason you should be fighting, is to protect others from the harm of the current administration. And he also explained to Arjuna that, Arjuna, you may be worried that if you fight and kill your relatives, you're going to be gaining bad karma for killing family members. But actually, because in one sense, they're all sort of kind of criminals, even the people who have sided with criminals, even if he's your grandfather, even if it's your teacher, but if somebody sides with somebody who's breaking the law, then they're also breaking the law. So you're going to incur bad karma if you don't fight with those individuals, even though internally you don't want to, but you have to fight no matter what. You have no choice. So even though Lord Krishna explains, and then Arjuna was also worried that, oh, well, if all of these men are destroyed, then so many women will be left without husbands. So that's going to lead to a degradation of society because those women will be taken advantage of by unscrupulous men. So Lord Krishna is saying, actually, if you fight, then you're going to create, all of these people are going to actually create a more negative society, the people that are in rule right now. So any way you look at it, you have to fight. There's no getting around doing your duty. But even after Lord Krishna does that, in all of chapter 2, at the beginning of chapter 3, Arjuna's still a little confused. He said, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? Lord Krishna just explained why, but still he's confused. If you think that intelligence is better than fruit. Now, it's interesting is part of the reason why Arjuna is still confused, and this is kind of interesting, is his own attachment for not fighting. Because he's attached to not fighting his relatives, he's still confused. Right? So have we noticed that when we're overly attached to our point of view, then it's hard for us to hear another person's point of view? Like if you're having a discussion with someone, maybe an argument, and we're so attached to what I just said, if I'm so attached to what I just said or what I think is right, then it's almost impossible for me to understand what the other person's saying. Maybe the other person's right, but I can't hear it because I'm attached. Right? So we know that attachment causes blindness. It clouds our intelligence, it clouds our judgment, and it prevents us from seeing the other perspective or the other side. So Arjuna's very attached to not fighting. He doesn't want to fight his cousins. He doesn't want to fight his grandfather. He doesn't want to fight his teachers and uncles and whoever else maybe, and some friends that may be on the other side. So his attachment to not fighting, his attachment to his family prevented him from hearing a lot of the things that Lord Krishna said. And so we can analyze that in our own life. Right? We could see how it's a simple message in the Bhagavad Gita, the message of attachment and detachment. The message is simple, but it's actually quite deep, because we can try to analyze in our own lives, how often do I get attached to something, and when I get attached to that something, if somebody tries to instruct me otherwise, I can't even hear those instructions. How many of us have done this where you've approached somebody and asked them for advice, but you have already made up your mind what you're going to do? Have we done that? Right? We've all done that, right? You know what you're going to do, you're just decided what you're going to do, and then you go to someone and say, hey, I'm thinking about this and this. What do you think I should do? The only reason you're asking is because you're hoping they'll agree with you, right? But ultimately, we've already decided. That means we're asking out attachment. The whole question was based on attachment. That means even if they gave us the right answer, but if it was different from ours because we were already locked in, we were already attached to what we were going to do, then therefore we couldn't really hear what they were going to say. So attachment is one of those things that I think the Bhagavad Gita talks about, but we really need to look at in our own lives. How attached are we to certain ideas? We have to be attached to family and other things because we have to be responsible. But how attached are we to our own ideas and our own way of thinking? Right? Because if we remain too attached, then how can we actually learn? Right? New knowledge cannot be gained if we're always attached. Right? Just like the Buddhists say, you should approach it you should always have a beginner's mind. Right? If we have a beginner's mind, then we can learn. If we're already attached, we're already convinced that we can't really learn much more. So here, it's interesting that Arjuna still is convinced that he shouldn't fight, even though the Supreme Lord himself has told him he should fight. So that's because of attachment. So then, a little later in chapter 3, Lord Krishna explains that, Arjuna, if you want to achieve perfection, you can't achieve perfection just by going into the forest. Because otherwise, so many people would just go into the forest. If it was that easy to let go of attachment, we would all just go into the forest. Because once you get there, you become self-realized, right? It doesn't work that way. Right? So going into the forest to renounce everything, which is what Arjuna wants to do. He wants to go into the forest, avoid the battle, avoid all the responsibilities that come with a kingdom. He just wants to get away from everything. The Lord Krishna is saying, by the way, entering the forest doesn't give you renunciation. It doesn't perfection, which is what Arjuna wants to achieve. Perfection meaning understanding I'm not the body. Understanding Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's perfection. That is not automatic just by renunciation. The Lord Krishna says that it's better that you do your prescribed duty, because the modes of nature are going to force you to work. And because you're a Kshatriya, you're a warrior, very passionate, made of Raja Gun, even when you go into the forest, you're going to want to fight somebody because you're a Kshatriya. You can't stop that. Somebody does something wrong, you're going to want to attack them. You're not going to live like a sadhu. You're going to still be doing justice, because a kshatriya means to deliver justice. And anytime you see something wrong, you'll want to do justice. So you might as well do justice here than doing it in all sorts of places in the forest. Right? So renunciation alone is not going to achieve perfection, but rather by performing your duty. But then Lord Krishna explains, how should you perform your duty? You should do it with detachment and with a sense of sacrifice. So when we analyze what sacrifice means, so sacrifice means to give up something that's precious to you, something that's valuable to you. So we should work. So Lord Krishna is explaining that you have to do your duty in a mood of sacrifice, meaning that you have to, first of all, be detached from the fruits of the work. That means if the result you're hoping for comes or doesn't come, and that's maybe a little difficult, because it's the result that usually motivates us. Why do we work? We're going to get that money. Especially if there's a bonus hanging at the end, then you're really working hard to make sure you get that bonus, right? So that becomes our motivation to work. But Krishna is saying your motivation to work should just come because it's your duty to work. Don't be worried about what's going to happen in the future, because the future is unpredictable. And if the future isn't the way you want it to be, you'll become depressed. So better you just work because it's your duty. You're supposed to work. Better do it in that way, but do it in a mood of sacrifice. Sacrifice means giving up something that's valuable to you. Sacrifice doesn't just mean a fire yagya. That's not sacrifice. That is also sacrifice. But lighting a fire and, throwing the grains in and having a priest there, that's one kind of sacrifice. But the kind of sacrifice that's being talked about here means giving up something that's valuable to us. And now we can all think about what is valuable to us. Right? What's valuable to us is our hard-earned money is valuable to us. Right? It's very valuable. Our time is very valuable to us. We have 24 hours in a day, and more than half of our day is spent at work. So 50% of our waking time is going to go into work. So that's precious. So when we give back our money or our possessions or our physical strength and energy, we sacrifice it for the service of God. That's the way we work. Then we don't incur any karma. We don't incur any sinful reactions. So Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that you have to work, but this is how to work. It's not that you just blindly work. You work, you do your prescribed duty. And what is prescribed duty? That's another thing to think about. This is a word that we use a lot. The word sacrifice is used a lot, and the word prescribed duty is used a lot. So sacrifice means giving up something that's valuable to you, your time, your energy, your money. These are the things when we sacrifice for the Lord, we make advancement. So prescribed duty, we all have many prescribed duties. We don't just have one prescribed duty. Some of you have a prescribed duty of being a mother. Some of you have the prescribed duty of being a father. Some of you have the prescribed duty of being a husband or a wife. So that means there's roles and duties involved with that specific prescribed duty. And we have to do our duty, even if it's unpleasant, even if it's difficult, right? Many of you here have children, and so as parents, you have prescribed duties to take care of them. Obviously, that's not an easy thing to do. And from what I've been told, you won't get it till you have them. So I can only speak theoretically. But it's a prescribed duty that you have to do. Another prescribed duty for all of us, is to maintain our families. Right? That means you have to go out and earn money. Even if the boss says you have to work overtime or you have to come in on Saturday, and as much as you hate that idea, you have to, because there's people depending on us. So we have to do our prescribed duty. And we do that, and we still sacrifice, and then we make advancement. So here, Lord Krishna is telling us, or is telling Arjuna, and he's telling all of us, that actually the only way to achieve perfection is to do our prescribed duty with detachment, with a sense of sacrifice. And now he's finally getting to the point where he's saying that the other reason you have to work is because you have to set the proper example. Because Arjuna is a very famous personality. He's not just an ordinary human being. Because he's one of the best warriors on that battlefield, everybody knows him. Like the entire planet knows him. Just like you have the best basketball player, right? a lot of people, they've seen, I don't know if you've seen these interviews on TV, kids don't know who the president or vice president is, but they know who LeBron James is. Right? They don't know the name of the first lady, but they'll know who Beyonce is. Right? So these are famous people. So because they're famous, everybody knows them. And so with fame and popularity comes a certain responsibility that your actions should be in such a way that they inspire others. Because if we do something that's immoral, unethical, illegal, and you're in a prominent role, then people will have a tendency to say, well, this person did it, so it's okay for me to do it too. So what Lord Krishna is finally coming to, saying, Arjuna, you're not an ordinary person. You're quite famous, actually. Your whole family is famous for doing the right thing. Yudhishthir is dharma personified. Everybody looked up to your father. So your whole family is exemplary, actually. Now, it's your responsibility to act in an exemplary manner. And if you don't act in an exemplary manner, what's going to happen is in the future, people are going to use your example and say, well, Arjuna walked away from his duty, so maybe it's okay for me to walk away from mine too. Right? So he's really telling Arjuna that now you have to do your duty because everyone is watching you. And also, if he walks away from the battle, a whole bunch of other people on his side might also walk away, right? Sometimes when the leader, in a battle situation, they try to kill the leader because then everybody else loses hope. If Arjuna were to walk away from that battlefield, you can imagine a lot of people would probably think, well, if he's not going to fight, I want to fight either. So Arjuna could cause a huge disruption in the whole plan, but not just, the point isn't that he's going to cause a disruption. The main point is that he is a prominent person. He's always lived according to religious principles. People look up to him and have always looked up to him and his brothers and his family. And it's really important that right now he continue to do the right thing. And that right thing for him is to do his prescribed duty, which in this situation is very difficult and very unpleasant, but his duty is to fight the battle of Kurukshetra and protect the people there. So what's being explained here is that now the arguments Lord Krishna is using are a little bit different, that you're supposed to do your duty because you have a responsibility to do your duty. And now Lord Krishna is giving the example of King Janak. He says, kings such as Janak attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duty. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So, and it also says here, kings like Janak, all self-realized souls. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. So, see, this is interesting. We might think our duty is difficult, right? And we may not want to do it some of the time. We may not want to do it all the time. Now, King Janak is a self-realized soul. That means he actually has no more reason. See, we do our prescribed duty so we become self-realized, so that we can understand we're not the body, we're not the mind, we're actually spirit soul. That's a servant of Krishna. We're doing our duty to understand that fact, to understand that reality, which we've distanced ourselves from. So King Janak is already a self-realized individual. He already understands, I'm not the body. He's a pure lover of God, right? Here it says he's the father of Sita Devi and the father-in-law of Lord Ram. So he's not an ordinary personality. He's the father-in-law of God, okay? That's not an ordinary position. Why in the world does he need to do anything? Why does he need to do anything? Because it's only going to entangle him. Because he realizes that he's the king and he has to do it. Just like, trying to think, was it Priyavrata Maharaj? And correct me if I'm wrong, he was sitting in the mountains and he was taking instructions from Narad Muni. Am I correct? Priyavrata Maharaj, right? It was him? Yeah. So he was sitting in the mountains very peacefully, learning from Narad Muni. And his fathers, Swayambhuva Manu, wanted to retire from the kingdom. But he needed to turn his kingdom over to his son. But his son was sitting peacefully with Narad Muni. in the Himalayan mountains, learning scripture and praying and meditating. And so Swayambhuva Manu was thinking, I need him to take over the kingdom. And so he went to him, and Swayambhuva Manu wasn't interested. Said, no, you rule the kingdom. I'm happy here. Now, this is interesting, right? In the material world, people are fighting for kingdom. Here they're fighting to give it away. Here they're fighting to renounce the world, which is really interesting. A very different paradigm. Usually people fight for the power, fight to become the CEO, or fight to take power and ownership, fight for the property. Here they're both fighting to give it away. They're fighting to renounce the world, which is very interesting. We don't see these kinds of examples much. So then, because there was hesitation on his part, Priyavrata Maharaj's part, then they had to call in, Swayambhuva Manu had to call in help. He called Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, had to come down and convince him. He said that you should really follow the instructions of your father, and you should understand that my instructions are coming from Lord Vishnu. Your duty is to renounce your renunciation, right? Renounce your renunciation, and go down and rule the kingdom. And can you imagine how hard that is? When you experience the bliss of renunciation, when you're already sitting in the presence of Narad Muni, like you're in his presence, and you're peaceful living in the Himalayan mountains, no worries. You wake up in the morning, you don't have to go to work, you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to pay taxes, you don't have to fill up the tank in your car, you don't have to get oil changes, you don't have to change diapers, you don't have to do anything. You are happy, thrilled, ecstatic, just waking up, if he's even sleeping, and Narad Muni's right there, instructing you. You're in the association of Narad Muni. Imagine to leave that peace behind and to manage a kingdom, which means tens of thousands of soldiers, hundreds of thousands, millions of citizens looking at you, asking you of things, demanding things from you, having to do diplomacy with all the other kingdoms so nobody starts a war with you, having to collect taxes, making sure the roads are good, making sure the education systems, oh my goodness, right? Managing one household can make you lose sleep, right? We lose sleep because there's just so many things going on in one household with like 3 or 4 people. We lose sleep. He had to leave his peaceful, ecstatic, blissful life to manage a kingdom. Why? Because it was his duty. And when Lord Brahma told him to do it, he had no choice. He got off the mountaintop, he came down, and he ruled the kingdom for a very long time. And it wasn't just a short period, like 4 years or 8 years, like our presidency. It was just like hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years, we don't know. It was a very long time. It wasn't something quick and easy. It was an entire lifestyle change that he was going to have to adopt. So, but he did it because he had to. The same thing, or similar thing, happened with Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather, but after he saw the Supreme Lord, after he did his tapasya in the forest for 6 months, he saw the Lord, and he was thinking to himself, I was looking for broken pieces of glass, and I found a jewel. And he no longer wanted to rule the kingdom, but the Lord said, well, because that's what you wanted, you're going to have to rule the kingdom. But don't worry, you won't become entangled. You won't become entangled afterwards. You'll get that final kingdom, which will be in the spiritual world. So the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, they're filled with stories of great personalities who were doing their prescribed duties because they had to. They didn't neglect their prescribed duties. And that is a very, very important thing, because a lot of times we think that when we read spiritual texts like the Gita, the Vedas, or whatever we're reading, we might think it's all about renunciation. And renunciation, what is renunciation? Renunciation is not an external thing, it's an internal thing. Right? It's an internal thing. How detached you are, that's really renunciation. But all of these texts, when you really study them, you understand that they're really talking about us doing our duty. They're telling us how to live in this world, but not become of this world. How to sort of become like a lotus flower. You come from the mud and you rise over and above the mud. And so that's what these texts are telling us, that we're going to have to sort of reside in the mud of this material world. And we're going to get dirty at times, because this world is a very crazy, difficult, muddy place, and there's going to be times when we get muddy, but to how to keep coming out above that. And that's what the Bhagavad Gita is really all about. How to fight our battles, how to fight our fights, do our battle. Sometimes we'll get dirty, sometimes we'll get messy, sometimes we'll bleed a little, but to not give up on that battle and not to just sort of run away from it because things are a little bit difficult. So there are so many examples. There's also examples of people doing their duty like Parikshit Maharaj, right? He was doing his duty as a king, but when he realized that he only had 7 days left, that it was time to die, his prescribed duty at that time became to teach us how to die. His duty changed, so our prescribed duties changed too. We go through our, brahmacharya ashram, our grihastha ashram, our vanaprastha ashram, and maybe sannyasa ashram for whoever's qualified for that. So our prescribed duties change as well. So his prescribed duty changed. His duty went from being a ruler to a renunciate, whereas the folks like Vrata Maharaj went from renunciate to ruler. And Dhruva Maharaj also went from sort of yogi to ruler. But here, Parikshit Maharaj went from being a ruler to a renunciate. And so his prescribed duty changed, and then he taught us how to actually do that. That means when the time comes, when the time is right, when we have an indication in our life that it's time to wrap up our business and really dive into worshiping the Lord. That comes a time for every single one of us. And we have to be intelligent enough to recognize that time is here. Now it's time to wrap up my business. It's time to wrap up my business and now dedicate all of my time, all of my energy, not figuring out how to make money, but figuring out how to really achieve perfection. And that's something we all have to take guidance from our guru, the sadhus, the devotee association to learn when that prescribed duty happens for us. So Parikshit Maharaj was telling us, was instructing us, was teaching us how to actually transition from one prescribed duty to another. And how did he do it? He didn't just go off into the forest by himself, because that's not our path. Our path isn't to go off into the forest by ourselves. He wanted to make sure that even though he was in the renounced order of life, that he stayed in the association of devotees. That's very, very important. From our very beginning of our spiritual life to the very end of our spiritual life, the key is to always remain in the association of devotees. Because if we come out of the association of the devotees, then we always run the risk of falling away from devotional service. And the example of that is Bharat Maharaj. He was at the stage of bhava, which means ecstatic love of God. He was in ecstasy. That means whenever he would think of Krishna, tears would come from his eyes, his hair would stand on end, he would cry tears, and he would lose his consciousness. He got that high, but because there was no devotee surrounding him, he became attached. Because this entire world is like a spider's web. It doesn't, and we're all flies. We're all flies. Oh, this is a big spider's web. And a fly gets stuck, and we get stuck very, very quickly. We don't see that spider's web, and even though it's everywhere, all around us, and we don't see it, so we get stuck. And Bharat Maharaj got stuck. Think about it. He was the ruler of the entire planet. You know how much power that is? How many people on this planet would love to be the ruler of the planet? Too many. I think there's too many of those people. He had that position. That means he had all the power, all the money, all the fame, all the prestige, all the sense gratification you could want like this. He just has to do this, and the right sense gratification would show up. He left all of that behind and got attached to a deer. Can you imagine? Just imagine. You had all the power around, and you see a deer, and you get attached to a deer. That's completely ridiculous, but that tells us the power of Maya. And that is why it's so important. And see, the thing is, the reason is he was alone. Because if there were some other devotees, they'd be like, hey, Prabhu, we understand you want to save the deer. You've saved the deer, you've done your job. Now let's go on and stay focused on our own devotional life. So Parikshit Maharaj taught us that you can do your prescribed duty, but do it in the association of devotees, even when you renounce. So I wanted to just talk about this one section. So our guest speaker has arrived. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanand.
Hare Krishna. Om Gyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Radhe Swapadantikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare First of all, I apologize for being delayed, but as I heard that you are all listening from Bhagavad Gita, where we learn this world is full of problems. So padam padam yad vipadam. So you can guess it nicely that how many problems I might have been facing while coming here. So Krishna has his own plan, so we follow whatever he decides. So this life, when we talk about transcendental, it is something like we want to become a servant of Krishna or the Supreme Lord. To become servant, first we have to become master. Then we become servant. Does it make sense? If you want to really want to become servant of the Lord, we have to master our mind. We have to master our senses. And when we will be the master of the mind and the senses, we will be the actual servant of Krishna. Because the mind is binding us to the bodily platform where we misidentify ourselves. We say that we love someone, but actually seeing, do we love someone or do we love something? If we love someone, that someone is living force, and something is that body. So when we love somebody or someone, but then actually somebody is passed away, but the body still lying there. So actually, do we love someone or do we love something? When we love someone, that we realize at the end of somebody's life that we loved someone, not something. Mostly people get the realization that the body is different from the soul at the end of the life. But if we start practicing that realization from the beginning of our life, then the whole life will be different. What we consider as wealth is not so clear. Wealth means happiness. If you have wealth, means you must have happiness. But when we consider the wealth to be the money, then this definition doesn't fit. So the real wealth is again for someone, not for somebody or something. So what wealth we are accumulating, if it is not satisfying the thirst of the soul, that is pleasure, happiness, then that wealth is not wealth. It's illusion. We may have tens and thousands and billions and trillions and euros or dollars or Indian rupees or whatever. We might have our photo published in, big magazines, front page. Oh, it's the richest person. But does that make anybody happy? The real happiness, what we are looking for? From the deepest core of our heart? Or it's just a shallow, superficial, temporary happiness of this world, which is flickering, and there is no connection of that artificial happiness with the eternal love we possess in our heart. Our material possessions or achievements look like our success, but material possessions are actually entanglements. The more possessions we have, the more active we are for them, which brings our mind away from Krishna. Our Acharya says, Manusha Janama Paya, Radha Krishna na bhajiya, Janiya Shunya Visakhayana. We have received this human form of life, but if we have not developed the love, the real love for the Lord, then we have simply wasted our life by drinking poison in the form of so-called sensual pleasure, which is easily available in all the species of the life, all the bodily forms, sometimes better than us. So this human life is not meant for eat, drink, be merry, or eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. It's not for that. It has some higher values. Golo khera prema dhana hari nama sankirtana. The real wealth is love of Godhead. Golo khera prema dhana. What is that real wealth? That is Hari Nama Sankirtan. That is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. That's real wealth. And once we have that wealth, then we are the richest person, not only in the earth, in the entire universe. We should try to develop that taste for the holy name, which is our real wealth. And if we do not make the best use of this human form of life, then punarmushiko bhavet. There is an example given in Sanskrit scriptures where once upon a time a sage was sitting in a forest and one rat approached him crying, "Please save me, please save me." What happened? What happened to you? Well, the cat is following me. What do you want? Please kindly make me cat. Okay, Rathastu, so be it. After a few minutes, the cat came crying, "Please protect me, please protect me." What happened? A tiger is approaching me. What do you want? Please kindly make me tiger. So be it. It became tiger. And then, as soon as it became tiger, he started staring to the sage and making different sound. And then the sage said, "What happened now? Now I'm going to eat you." Then the sage started laughing. And the sage said, "You are such a fool. Don't you understand? If I can make you from rat to a tiger, can't I make from tiger to rat? Punarmushiko bhavet." Again become mouse. Again become mouse. Punarmushiko bhavet. So if this body, human form of life, is given to us, and if we don't use it properly and trying and to accumulate so-called wealth, what we call as money, and just spend our life for sense pleasure, sense enjoyment, then we are not fit for this body. Better we can get animal life. This is human life, higher understanding. What is beyond birth and death. So in our scriptures, there are many examples we find how the real wealth is the love of Godhead. We had one greatest Acharya. His name was Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami was so humble devotee of the Lord. He was loved by everyone in Vrindavan, in Vraj. He was a sannyasi and he was not staying at one place for a longer time. So when he was passing by, the villagers, they would go to see him off, and the next village people will be ready to welcome him. He was loved by everyone. Once upon a time, one devotee of Lord Shiva, he wanted some benediction from Lord Shiva, and Shiva said, if you want the highest benediction ever, go to Sanatana Goswami. And he went to Sanatana Goswami. What he has? Well, Sanatana Goswami is having touchstone. Whatever you touch, it will become cold. You know, wow. Whatever I touch with that stone is cold. So he becomes so excited. And he went to Sanatana Goswami. Maharaj, where is that most precious thing which you are possessing? Lord Shiva said that you can give me. So Sanatana Goswami replied, is lying there, you go next to the trash, the garbage box. It is lying in the garbage, you can take it. What? It's lying in garbage? Anyway, so he took there and he became very happy and started going home. But on the way he thought, if this is the most precious thing in the world, why it was lying in garbage? He went back to Sanatana Goswami and said, you are hiding something from me. No, I didn't hide. No, you must have something more important than this, that which you are not giving. Otherwise, why you are keeping this precious jewel at garbage? So he said, okay, you want that? Yes, I want that. Are you sure? Any of you want that? Everyone. I hope everyone. Sanatana Goswami did not disclose what he has. He just said, you want that? So I also did not disclose. You want that? He said, yes. Then first you have to give up this jewel from your hand. Oh, I can't do that. How do I do that? No, if you want that, then you have to give up this. Okay, I give it up. And he gave up. And what next? Sanatana Goswami gave him the most precious thing in the world. What was that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This is the most precious thing in the world. That brings the love of Godhead in our heart. When we love Krishna, we love everyone. You don't need to love somebody or someone or something. Just love Krishna and you love everyone. This is the most precious wealth we can ever have. I just mention one more small pastime and then we'll conclude. There was a wonderful devotee. His name was Kolavecha Sridhar. His name was Kolavecha because he was selling banana trees, banana leaves, and banana fruits. He was a very dear devotee of Nimai Pandit. Whatever he earned, maybe 1 cent, those days, whatever he earned, 50% of that he was spending for the worship of Mother Ganges. 50% of that. And whatever 50% he had, he was maintaining himself. What he had was just a small hut without roof. There was no roof. He had only one dhoti, had 11 holes in that. He had only one cup which was broken, where he was drinking water. And he was always chanting, Hari, 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 always chanting that name. Yeah. So Nimai used to come to him and used to say, well, Sridhar, what is the rate today for your bananas? What price you are offering today? Yeah. 1 cent. You know, that in Indian currency is 1 anna, 1 paisa. 1 paisa. 1 paisa. It's too much. The next one, neighborhood, they're given a half price. Why are you selling so costly? Expensive. So he used to say, if you're getting better price than me, then why don't you go there? Why are you coming to me? No, how can I give up my steady supplier? No. But today I have decided I am not going to pay anything. I'll just take them away. And he used to shout, hey, Nimai, don't do that. Sometimes Nimai used to come to him and he said, I know you have a lot of wealth with you, treasure hiding inside your kutir, your hut. No, I don't have anything. I'm poor. I don't have anything. Hardly I can maintain myself. Nimai said, oh really? You are poor? See, your neighbor is worshipping Kali, Durga, and is so rich. Why don't you give up this Hari Bol? Why don't you give up this Hare Krishna? He will become also rich. He said, please don't make fun with me. Please, I'm simple guy and you are very naughty. I can't manage with you. I'm sorry, please. Nimai said, no. So what happened, Nimai was making always different fun with him. And then once upon a time when he was showing his Mahaprakash Leela, and Mahaprabhu called, Nimai Pandit called, bring that Sridhar, I want to bless him. Who Sridhar? Kholavecha Sridhar. Kholavecha Sridhar? How do we recognize him? Simple. You go to his house, wherever you get sound coming out of house, Hari, 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 that's him. Yeah. So they brought Kholavecha, Sridhar, and Nimai Pandit started asking, what do you want? I can give any benediction you want. You want heavenly opulence? You want a very beautiful girl to marry? You want some mystic power? Just ask, I can give anything. And he said, why are you still making fun of me? I don't want all that. But if you really want to give me something, then do me a favor. Okay, what is that? What do you want? That birth after birth, I become Kholavecha Sridhar, and birth after birth, you come and steal my bananas. That's love. That is the love I am looking for from you, my dear Lord. So when you have love of Godhead, when you have love, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Prem means love. Everyone is looking for love. That is the whole life. We are just moving around that one word, love. We want it. And we are trying to get it from different people, different things. But that we can never get because it's not the right object, right source from where we can. Love means living force. Love is possible with the living force, not with that body, with this uh, dull material body. And when the living force is there, when the supreme living can give the highest happiness ever you can get. The happiness what we get by chanting of the holy name and surrendering to the Lord by devotional service has no comparison ever with that. Some people are trying to be happy by money. Some people are trying to be happy by knowledge. Some people trying to be happy by art. Some people trying to be happy by intoxication. Some people are trying hard to be happy by giving up happiness itself. You know. And some people are trying to be happy, by using the sensual pleasure. But the real happiness, what we are looking for, is only possible if we chant loudly the name of Gauranga. Gauranga! That was not enough loud, which is so many people are here. Maybe we can try one more time. We can loudly chant the name of Gauranga. Madhupati Prabhu, can it be more louder? Okay. Yes. So we can try one more time. This time I will not use the mic, so we can hear better. Okay. 3, 2, 1. We're chanting the name of Gauranga and we're calling him. And Nityananda Prabhu says, just by chanting the name without hypocrisy in the heart, you get the ultimate success of the life, and the happiness which you get from that, it is something which you are looking for since time immemorial, birth after birth. Just forget everything else. Gao gao punaha gaurangera guna sarala koriyaman. Gao gao punaha. Again and again chant the name of Gauranga. Gaurangera guna sarala koriyaman. With simple heart, without diplomacy, without offense. Just chant the holy name and you get the ultimate success. Adhama jatanak adhane jatana kari dhana tyaginu gaura kirtana rase magana na hoino. We have accumulated adhan. Dhan means wealth, but adhan means which is not wealth. We have accumulated adhan, and dhana tyaginu, and we have given up real wealth. What is that? The nectar of the holy name. Gaura Kirtana Rasim Magana na hoilo. And we are not absorbed, our minds are not absorbed in chanting of the holy name. So we should try our best to chant the holy name every day. You are so fortunate that you are getting this wonderful association in such a beautiful, opulent temple. And all of devotees are very enthusiastic and very sincere. I'm sorry I don't know you much, but your faces are very sincere. So you must be very sincere souls. So I wish you please chant more attentively and make the best use of this human form of life. You see, my condition, I'm sitting here with you. Practically, I can't do anything my own. But still, I consider this as a Krishna's mercy. Krishna is more merciful to me than many others because he has given me the chanting of the holy name. The name is much more powerful than anything else. If you can chant Hare Krishna mantra, you got the maximum. You don't require anything else. If you can chant this Hare Krishna mantra. So Yes, it's my great fortune that Krishna is using me somehow as a puppet to talk something about his glories and accepting my little service, insignificant service, and also making instrument, different devotees like His Grace Madhupati Prabhu, who kindly allowed me to speak even though I was delayed because of material situations around, but somehow I got this opportunity, and this is first time for me in this new temple. I came last year, last year to the old temple. Then this time I got this opportunity to come to this temple, and I'm really very grateful to His Grace Madhupati Prabhu and all of you to listen so attentively. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question? Maybe they can ask now, or I don't know what. Or maybe you can ask personally. Is there anybody has any question? I want to share something or say something? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
So let's thank His Grace Vishwarupa Prabhu with a loud Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Also thank Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu also again with a loud Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So today's Sunday feast is sponsored by few families. The entire program is sponsored by Sanjay Oza family for his parents Satyanarayan and Kanta Oza's anniversary. Are they here? So let's all bless them with a loud Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Also, it is sponsored by Kajal and Deepal. Are they here? Kajal and Deepal. Ankur, Ankit Prabhu's sisters. Ankit Prabhu sponsored. Okay. They're probably on the other side. For the month of May, for Sri Radha Shyamsundar, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Sri Gaunita and Sri Panchatattva. The Govinda's score for the month of May is Govinda's Catering 2,967, Govinda's Tiffin 4,767, and Govinda's buffet is 3,953, of a total of 11,687 for the month of May. So let's thank all the volunteers who are making that possible with a loud Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! coming Saturday and Sunday is our Rath Yatra weekend. So lots of services, lots of fun activities. On June 24th, Saturday, is Rath Yatra in Atlantic City, where our Jagannath Baldev Subhadra deities will personally go to Atlantic City to bless lots of visitors. The city is filled with casinos, is normally called the Sin City. And just imagine the mercy of the Lord flowing there to bless those who have just come to either play in the casino or go on the beach or drink alcohol and come out. And the Lord is personally showing the mercy to the most fallen there. So it's organized by our temple. Bus will be going from here. Shankarshan Prabhu here? Yeah. Bus is leaving at 10 o'clock from the temple. Before that, we'll have breakfast, Govinda's breakfast here. So whoever wants to avail it, can avail it. Whoever has not given the names can give to Shankarshan Prabhu. How many seats are available? No, how many seats are available? 20 seats available in the bus. So please contact Shankarshan Prabhu and reserve your seats. Those who are already registered, also make your payment to Shankarshan Prabhu. The Rath Yatra will start at 2 p.m. on the intersection of New Jersey Avenue and Boardwalk, and will go to Kennedy Plaza, where again we'll have a stage program and prasadam distribution there. Also, we require lots of volunteers who can help in different ways. On June 22nd, Thursday, June 22nd, in between 7 to 11 p.m., we need 4 volunteers. Friday, 23rd, 7 to 11 p.m., also again we need 4 volunteers for making roti. We are making roti for 2,000 people. So not just rolling help. It's basically we are going to a temple to make roti on the machine, but on that machine we need 4 people's help to feed the dough, to make sure the roti comes out, then to apply ghee and pack it. So you don't have to roll it, but 4 volunteers are needed. Also, Friday 23rd, from 7 to 10 p.m., we'll have a lot of vegetable cutting and cleaning going on here. So for that also, we need help. So whoever can help, please contact Krishna Namanand Prabhu or Simesha Prabhu, myself. We can note down your names, Emma Jagannath Prabhu. Saturday 24th, from 5 to 10 a.m., there will be cooking and cleaning happening, and 9 to 11 a.m., loading into the truck when all the prasadam will be transferred. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. prasadam serving, and 5 to 7 p.m. wrap-up. That's all 24th. And also, when I see Simesha Prabhu, I'm sure he needs help for distribution of books. Sunday 25th is the actual day of Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra. That also we are going to celebrate it here from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the evening. So if you like to offer different fruits, coconut water, nuts, dates, etc. to the Lord on that day, as you all know, after the Snan Yatra, our deities are in the Anabasara period. So they are recuperating from the Snan, bathing. So that day, they will be on the altar. Next Sunday, they'll come back on the altar after the Rath Yatra. So it's a big event from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right. If you like to serve in any way, please contact Hema Jagannath Prabhu. Also, we are encouraging devotees to sponsor for these events. Our budget for all the 3 Rath Yatras combined is $15,000. That the cart itself, it comes from Cleveland, both for Atlantic City Rath Yatra and Addison Rath Yatra, which is on August 13th. The cart the charge is close to $2,500 for one Rath Yatra. Plus additionally the prasadam, distribution, the decoration. So the combined 3 Rath Yatra sponsorship is, total is $15,000. So Hema Jagannath Prabhu wanted to make some announcement.
Hare Krishna. Okay. How many of you attended the Snan Yatra which happened on the 9th? Oh, Hare Krishna. So you must have liked the Snan Yatra, and if you liked, just say Hari Bol. Hari Bol. So no doubt your love and devotion was so much, Lord Jagannath fell transcendentally sick and he's not giving darshan, right? And he's going to come back, after 2 weeks of, transcendentally ill. So there is a lot of expenses, and I just want to touch upon 1 or 2 things. Prabhupada says, Rathetu Bhavanam Drushta Punarjanma Navidyate. So if you take the chariot of the Lord with sincere devotion, your liberation is confirmed. So the mood of serving during Rath Yatra is so important. So we would like to take this opportunity to give some donation to the temple. So I'm looking for some donations so that we meet the expenses. So if you'd like to donate in any way, kindly raise your hand and we'll just collect how much you want to donate, and we'll use it for the service of the Lord. Because Lord Jagannath is very merciful and he tends to reciprocate. You gave a lot of love in bathing them, he fell sick. So you'll take them in yatra and he will come with you to basically give his mercy. So there is a lot of expenses for this. So if you would like to, show your hand in donating anything, we'll just take your names and we'll use it for the services of the Lord. So any show of hand as to if they want to, Jayaprakash Prabhu? Jayaprakash Prabhu is going to donate $250 for the service of Lord Jagannath. So let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Anyone else? Hari Kishore Prabhuji. Hari Kishore Prabhuji is going to donate $500 for the service of Lord Jagannath. So let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Anybody else? Madhupati Prabhuji? Madhupati Prabhuji is going to donate $500. So let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Kunal Prabhu is going to donate $200. So let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Anybody else who would like to donate? Matajis, Prabhujis? Yeah, I would like to donate $1,000 for the service of the Lord. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yes, Prabhuji? Okay, thank you. So anybody else would like to donate, please let us know. Yes, Prabhuji? Yeah, what's your name? Yeah. Vishwarup Prabhu is going to donate $101 for the service of the Lord. Let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Vishwarup Prabhu. Anyone else? Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhuji? Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhuji is going to donate 501 for the service of Lord Jagannath. Let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Yes, Prabhuji? Asit Mahapatra Prabhu is going to donate 501 for the service of Lord Jagannath. Let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's Giri Prabhu. Giri Prabhuji and his family is going to donate 251 for the service of Lord Jagannath. Let's thank him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Yeah, if anybody else? Because as you can see from the announcements, we had Snan Yatra, then we're going to take Lord Jagannath on Rath Yatra, then we're going to have Bahuda Yatra, and then we're going to have Rath Yatra in Oak Tree Road. So there's a lot of events which is coming up, and there is a lot of expense. So I'm here to just ask for your support. And if you want to do it later, you can contact any of us. And we have Arati's sponsorship on that day as well. You know, beautiful Arati thalis you can take home after doing the Arati. So there is a lot of opportunity. There is Chappan Bhog here, and we have the cart which is getting painted. And in Atlantic City, we're cooking for close to 2,000 devotees. So there is a lot of activity happening. So I look forward to your support. And thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
So we are going to have prasadam on the other side, and then you can come for the Shanarthi. Okay, Hare Krishna. Please take.